so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take about a minute and a half to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm sincerely passionate about promoting is Purium. It's no mystery that bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance is necessary if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. So if you've been looking for a way to easily get organic superfoods into your system every day with a simple plan that can help you reestablish a healthier foundation and relationship with food, like I was doing before I found Purium, I highly recommend going to positivehead.com/transformation and checking out the videos and interviews there where I dive deeply into discussions explaining why I take these products every day. And should you ultimately end up on iShopPurium.com to purchase any of their 50 plus amazing superfood products, be sure to use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. So grateful to be back with you as always. Hope you guys enjoyed Erica Middle Miss holding it down. I've been deeply immersed in it completely in preparation for the new show Optimistic. A lot of cool things developing there. A lot of exciting things and just a lot of caterpillar in the chrysalis stretching to the butterfly. Long days, not good sleep, but mostly sleep and work for like going on like 2 months, 7 days a week. A few little, breaks here and there, but very, very little. And it's all so worth it. So appreciate all of you that are coming out to support and experience the Mystic Manor. So actually we'll be moving in here in the coming days. And for those of you who don't know, check out optimistic.tv. That's spelled, Mystic is spelled MYSTIC. So optimistic.tv. Or if you go to positivehead.com, you'll see the Optimistic link. Either way, you can get there and you can learn all about the Mystic Manor and the new show Optimistic and the retreats that we're doing, where 3 rooms each week at the Mystic Manor, this epic spaceship-looking property in Venice, California, where I'm going to be staying along with the rest of the folks helping to curate the retreats, giving you guys that come and stay a full week experience. prepared meals, cook prepared meals, incredible workshops. Actually, Joe Dispenza's some of his actual workshop stuff. One of his main facilitators is going to be there. Super excited about that. So much magic is happening. First episode we're filming on July 20th. So those of you that are, I forget who the first three are, the guinea pigs, but yeah, there's going to be, just found out there's going to be a Vanity Fair reporter there. So it's right in the deep end of the pool. So much for working the kinks out. But yeah, if you want to learn more, please do. I'd love to talk to any of you. We still have, we're still not quite at the halfway capacity, but, filled up between July 2019 and July 2020. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in coming, especially September, I'd be willing to do something special in September because that's the only month out of the next 4 that aren't sold out. And if I can get that off my plate, it's going to help me be able to focus a bit more on the show itself. So anyway, just want to throw that out there. And yeah, all of you have been supporting and that are coming out. I so appreciate you so much. It's such an exciting time. And but the stretch is real. And the stretch is real. I've really been working on saying and instead of but, right? Because when you say but, it kind of negates, maybe if you ever say something really good and you say but, right? It kind of negates what you just said. So that's the biggest one. I think I might even mention that on the show. I've been really working on that one. And there's a lot different energy, right? Everything, entomology, so important, right? There's an energetic to everything we say and do. Everything is vibration, focusing on that. And speaking of focusing on vibration, we're going to focus on the vibration of the book, The Third Millennium, once again, by Ken Carey. And I started reading from it a few weeks back. You can go to the website and search for, The Third Millennium if you want to catch the first 2 chapters. We're up to chapter 3. I'm just reading this one in order. And this is called, this particular chapter is called Angels of the Primal Coherence. So this is supposedly a channeled book by Ken Carey. And, I absolutely, he wrote Return of the Bird Tribes as well, his channel material, and it's so inspired and powerful and poetic. And so I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper into, the subtext of the Third Millennium is living in the post-historic world. So it's really talking about the history leading up to this point and sort of the new age, the new timeline we're stepping into, right? Everyone's been talking about that for quite some time. This huge shift that's going on. And this book lays it out. And this book is like 20 years old or something, but it lays it out just so beautifully. So I'm going to pick up on chapter 3 here. Okay, so I just had a call. I usually put my phone on silent when I record, and I forgot to. And my friend called in, so I paused it because he's traveling actually here right now. He's going to be staying it's my friend since childhood. He's going to be staying in my old place that I'm moving out of, yada, yada. And I knew he was traveling, so I paused it. I normally don't do that to talk to him. And he's like, completely super excited. He's like, oh my God, I just saw a UFO. He's like, I'm driving, I'm along this mountain range. All of a sudden I hear a sonic boom. There's 2 jets. All of a sudden these jets come and they're chasing this silvery thing that all of a sudden is appearing and disappearing. And they're going super fast after it. And I just watched them chase it across this mountain line. And I'm like, what? So there's a lot of quantum weirdness. He's on his way here, so I'm like, that's a good sign. You're stepping into the you're stepping into the portal already as I'm about to transition into the Mystic Manor. There's been so much UFO stuff. I actually I mentioned I've taken a little break. One of them was the first time I went out and went to Disclosure Fest in LA, a free event this last weekend in the park where it's basically all about disclosure, right? And there's live music and sort of a lot of festival kind of stuff too. And very, very fun and good time. And so I just went to that this weekend. Someone was just playing, I think Joe Rogan's newest podcast is all about UFOs. Someone was playing it around me yesterday. And we were talking about it a little bit. But yeah, so I wonder if they're preparing us for disclosure here or what. It's like there's so much of it on the news. And, now the military is actually acknowledging UFOs for the first time publicly. And yeah, now, I'm a little jealous. I want to see Planes chasing a UFO. All right, back to this. So let's talk about angels of the primal coherence. This is chapter 3 of the Third Millennium. $20 billion years of unfoldment leave this universe yet in its early stages. It is still a realm of vast extremes, frozen worlds of rigid matter contrasting the awesome heat of stars, with light years of empty space between. What biology there is appears only as a slight and nearly indistinguishable film on the surface of but a few worlds. Yet, in that biological film lies the future. It is a relatively new substance, biology. Its days has only now begun to dawn. The present universal distribution of matter, time, space, and energy forms but the skeletal structure of what is to be. As the galaxies spiral, so the linear progressions of creation spiral as well, until the passage of change brings to this great universal medicine wheel the forms that have ever lain dormant within. For these galaxies are nests and pods. Each of their fiery stars is a seed with inherent designs yet to be released, as distinct from what stars are today as the acorn is distinct from the oak. Within and suspended among the stars of each galactic nest, eternal intent radiates fields of energy not visible to your physical sight. These fields of energy are called into being by the vibrational structure of the primal sound, the first tone or word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So I'm going to stop for a second. So, of course, it's instantly started. I had no idea what this chapter is going to be about, and it's talking about, like, creation in space. So our UFO is right on time, apparently. Just as vegetation grows up along the life-giving network of a river's water, the physical forms of the future develop along these circuits of primal sound. As the universe unfolds, the circuits attract the beings and design patterns that objectify the creative intentions of the one who is the giver of life. Within the parameters of these energy circuits, individual beings are free to choose from among infinite role possibilities, those that best suit them and their natures. They are free to improvise their unique harmonic styles of creation within the frequencies of the word. The word's enfolded order is invisible to physical sight, but through the eyes of spirit it can be seen. If you close your eyes, you may see it stretching before you, a pulsing network of implicit potential as real as any sensory realm, a vibrational reality that in an earlier age was called the kingdom of heaven. It is the spatial, but not yet temporal objectification of universal thought designs, a world of metaform and archetype, a realm of intention waiting to materialize. It is the spiritual scaffold around which the biology of the future will congeal into a work of splendor and magnificence without precedent and, as yet, without name. It is a blueprint, a subtle latticework of intent and vibration. It is the outline, the pattern for a finely woven, luminous biology of galactic and someday intergalactic extent. Through you, the potential of this implicit order will one day dance to life. New beings, new creatures will appear to fly among the fields of what is now still formless space, to share with us the joys of universal exploration. One day you will call into orbital patterns the atoms, molecules, and cells that will objectify this infrastructure and provide its physicality. But perhaps you sense it now. Perhaps you feel already the awakening. We address you now upon the frequencies of your essence to remind you, to help you recall. The time you create spirals outward from your presence like a ship's wake trailing through the ocean. The immediate past fans out behind you. In its fertile cone, life appears in many forms. In it, the earth has seen a biosphere flourish. Yet, it is not the past that reveals your direction, but the purpose from which you move. The cone of your future intentionality spirals brilliant and multidimensional before you, illuminating the universal potential that will one day take form. Like the light of a radiant beacon, it reveals your vibrational sketchings in the heavens. From your center, an eternal being, energy intent swirls outward to become beings, individualized forms of your expression, angels, pattern beings, generations of light. Issuing from the heart of this dimensional creation, your intelligence radiates outward in concentric pulsations, rippling throughout the far-flung fields of space. At the simultaneous velocity of love, it is multiplied in the transforming prism of each galactic core. From the center of each galaxy, your intelligence flows outward to each star and multiplies again. And on the process goes. From the center of this sun star, it flows to the Earth and into the awakening human cells of the Earth's nearly activated planetary nervous system. Your multiplications of consciousness call forth the linearity of time, even as the many beings sharing your consciousness bring the passages of the moon about the Earth around the sun, and the sun in a spiral cluster with others of its kind. Your movement now brings this star system into a new region of space. You stationed us here, angels of the primal coherence, to remind you, to awaken you. Lest in sleeping I forget, you said. Lest in dreaming a planetary creation I become lost in the wonders of time. In this quarter century, your dream produces its harvest. The bridge between creator and creation appears. A human family awaits your conscious habitation. The intelligence, overridden and denied in the historical state, awakens as a sleeper awakening within a single body. It circulates through human minds, looks through human eyes, interprets the world through human forms, and it knows itself as the one. The field of collective human consciousness is now entering the final stage of the awakening process, congealing into awareness of itself as the organ of consciousness, similar in function to a brain, of a single planetary being, a being with internal organs of oceans, forests, ecosystems, and atmosphere. Humankind is its system both for processing information and for directing its future development. The language through which we are currently filtering these thoughts has no adequate words for this single planetary being, for the creator, or even for the human species. We choose the nearest approximate labels, hoping that the structure in which we weave these thoughts will penetrate below the surface of your mind to reveal a sense of the underlying rhythms of awareness behind them, stirring your own perception and memory, and providing you from within an understanding, an experience deeper and more comprehensive than these words alone can provide. The purpose of these transmissions is to awaken the Creator upon this material world and to guide you into the awakening awareness. The next part is called the currents of universal awareness. One intelligence flows through all creatures, but as it is channeled, it is focused in many different ways through the various dimensional levels, like high voltage current moving through a series of step-down transformers. Its post-historic societies of the Earth, human thought and activity, will be guided by that intelligence in one or another of its various forms. Certain creative acts will bring, through human form, galactic intelligence. Others, the universal intelligence that orchestrates the galactic network itself. The very needs of each creative situation will call for people to draw upon different types and qualities of awareness. Through some, the awakened planetary intelligence of the Earth will flow, while at the same time others will be conduits for the solar intelligence of this star system, or perhaps at times the intelligence of other stars. Many will channel the intelligence of that being who is the catalyst and creator of all biological life. Yet the varieties of universal intelligence are not limited to just its larger focalizations. When it is helpful or required, people in post-historic times will also represent the intelligence of the angelic beings associated with specific bioregions, with rivers, lakes, and mountains, or, if it is helpful, with the animal and vegetable life forms of the earth. Even the intelligence of atomic and molecular structure will be invoked, consulted, and utilized in creative activities where it is relevant. Healthy human individuality brings with it a hologrammatic understanding of the being whose unfoldment is this universe, an understanding in which the whole is microcosmically reflected in the structure of the part. To activate this understanding, to access the many frequencies of its awareness, you have only to recall, to notice your primal union with the source of life, the source of your life, and to elevate that union to the citadel of your decision-making. When you understand the nature of your essential being in metapersonal terms, you know your human body is a cell in a developing planetary organism, and you recognize in that organism the signature of your own spiritual identity. In much the same way that complete genetic information for an entire human body is contained in each of the body's many trillion cells, each awakened human being has inner access to the information circulating in the unified field of awareness that precedes all individuality. Wherever the symphonic rhythms of the universal dance pervade, each part within each larger unit experiences this sort of hologrammatic relationship to the whole. Consequently, when you live in a harmonic state, your consciousness provides you with options not available to those who imagine themselves existing in isolation. To know yourself as an awakened individual is to also know yourself as the being of the surrounding context. When you're not focused on the creative or interpretive enjoyment of individuality, you are free to experience the organic identity shift that brings awareness of your larger collective humanity. In the same way, you are free to shift through connection with humankind's collective I into an experience of planetary identity, solar identity, or identity as the great spiraling being of the Milky Way. In post-historic times, you will know each level of creative manifestation as a dimension or octave of your own being's unfoldment. You will experience naturally the freedom and mobility of musically directed travel up and down these octaves of manifestation. I just want to throw in there, if you listen back to Eben Alexander's episode where he was, the Harvard neurosurgeon who had a near-death experience and lived on the other side for a week while he was in a coma and had all these experiences. One of the things he did is he traveled in this way, just like it said, it said you'll experience naturally the freedom and mobility of musically directed travel up and down these octaves of manifestation. That was his experience, actually using different tones to travel up and down from like a hellish kind of state to a very ascended state. And it was all like using these tones. Yeah. If you go back and you want to hear his story, go to positivehead.com and search Eben Alexander, E-B-E-N. This is how you spell his first name, but continuing. You cannot travel into yourself without exploring the infinite reaches of eternal consciousness. You cannot know yourself in reality without knowing God. Each plane of manifestation is a higher octave or a single vibrational continuum. The lower octaves offer greater multiplicity and a greater diversity of creation. With the higher octaves comes reduced multiplicity and a more intensified awareness of the singularity of being. Yet this generalization applies only to the landscape of creation. It does not apply to you. You are able to move freely when you will. You have long enjoyed descending in full consciousness through successfully lower octaves, thereby multiplying beings of diversity and through them your own co-creative opportunities. Since the creation of this universal landscape, at each level of your descent, you have appeared as individual beings designed to interact with and create upon the frequencies of each octave in turn. The physical plane is the lowest of the 7 higher or primary planes of manifestation. It is the densest of the conscious planes and the lowest octave in which you have sought to incarnate in multiple forms while simultaneously sustaining awareness of your unified field. While the beings appearing on the higher, non-physical frequencies all naturally assumed a healthy hologrammatic understanding of their origin in you, on the physical level among the biologically incarnate, this understanding has not been continuous. It has faded in and out, flickering and blurring. Human reception of eternal awareness has been poor, at times even curtailed by the separatist nature of the self-images of historical peoples. You naturally seek to awaken in them the same sort of healthy, hologrammatic self-understanding that is experienced by the beings of higher, less substantial frequencies. But humankind's extreme over-identification with form requires that such an awakening be gradual. You do not want to dissolve their individual distinctions in a single burst as they realize their essential unity with you in the singular field of our common awareness. For such a sudden change in self-understanding could dissolve their individual body fields. And your goal is not to end individuality, but to inhabit it. So you have sought to awaken humans slowly over the centuries, preserving their self-distinctions that they might continue with you as a family, as a cooperative association of interconnected informational beings. Breaking through into the collective field of human consciousness and then sustaining that breakthrough during this past cycle of education has required all your humor and wisdom, and that of your angelic legions for many thousands of years. Guiding collective human thought toward the currents of universal awareness has been slow and tedious. We have long known that the larger the Earth's human population, the greater the probability of awakening. Yet for millennia, territorial, fear-centered behavior has kept human numbers reduced to so few that genuine breakthroughs, sustained spirit incarnations, were extremely rare. The development of greatest relevance in recent centuries has been the consistent, in this century, dramatic improvement of the field of intra-human communication. As a result of new human communication technology, our work of education was able to leap forward rapidly. Our initial efforts to use the print medium for the distribution of health-related information were not entirely successful in the face of ecclesiastical opposition and an extremely low overall rate of literacy. But health awareness eventually did spread, and human populations have since multiplied accordingly. Meanwhile, the predisposition towards awakening has grown at a rate more rapid than the population, and our continuing inspiration of better and more effective communication tools has resulted in technology that currently unites the diverse human cultures of the Earth in a single global communications network. Our educational activities become more conscious and more effective with each passing day. The worst-case scenarios for transition into the post-historic order are no longer likely. In some cases, they are no longer possible, and our education is continuously reducing the likelihood of scenarios of lesser destruction. It is actually possible, not quite likely yet, but possible, that we might yet achieve our optimal goal of a smooth and peaceful transition. A chain reaction in human understanding resulting in planetary awakening could theoretically occur at any time. On the eve of this great meta-historical event, the current of universal attention is flowing so powerfully toward this imminent awakening that it resembles a river approaching flood tide. Throughout the realms where those of our kind are conscious, we share this awesome current of attention. As creatures of the current, we qualify in its interest with our individuality, working together in our various capacities to help you awaken to your native understanding. Your awakening, when complete, will signal a distinct new evolutionary phase with new ground rules and wholly altered creative conditions. All right, that's the end of chapter 3. That was pretty awesome, pretty epic, especially considering the book was written, in 1991. So it's been a minute, right? And think how much has changed since those words we just heard. The foreseeing of what is to come, it's definitely unfolding. The quickening is upon us. It is happening. It is moving oh so quick. And I am so excited to continue on this journey with each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up and co-creating the experience of getting to have a podcast and now this forthcoming television show. Video production, if you will. And speaking of Eben Alexander, I'm actually talking to his people right now about him coming in September, October time frame. October, I think. So, yeah, that's going to be cool to have him at the Mystic Manor. Someone will end up there the week that he comes. I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but we're working it out. And once again, if you guys are interested in coming, I would love to work something out with you. We can figure out payment plans, et cetera, make it work, create the abundance, co-create the abundance, to have the magical Mystic Manor experience together. You can email me, brandon@positivehead.com, and we can chat about it. That being said, I've had another cool synchronicity this morning. I had my dear friend Craig, who actually was on one of the very first episodes talking. He leads Shamanic Journeys, and he reached out to me this morning. Then I had my first friend in California reach out to me, Craig, who I hadn't talked to in a very long time. And he's like, you got to check out my nephew's group. They're awesome. Let's play them, whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. Cool. Me and Craig met through music years ago. The second Craig I mentioned. And so anyway, I just checked it out. And he told me about it maybe a year or so ago and checked it out briefly then. But I guess they have new music and everything. And definitely, I loving what I hear. It's called Zen Soul is the group. And super cool, very like Tribe Called Quest. Some of my favorite hip hop from the 90s seems influenced, their own fresh spin on it. And I like what they're doing. So I'm going to play it. Perhaps we even have them to perform a song on Optimistic as well. Because, that's part of it. The ending of the show is going to always have live music. So this song is called, and I'm going to probably butcher it, Yo Puedo, P-U-Y-O, and then P-U-E-D-O. So, yeah. Yo Puedo, not Play-Doh. I hope you like it, everyone. This is Zen Soul. Just got it sent to me a bit ago. Thanks for sending it, Craig. Zen Soul, keep up the great work. You guys are amazing. Till next time, journey well, everyone. Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to let you all know that we have finally created the Game with the Universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind, and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time by doing this manually. But now, if you go to positivehead.com/YO Universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to engage and invite friends, family, people on social media to check out the podcast as well. So be sure to check out positivehead.com/YOUNIVERSE, and be sure to tell all your friends so they can play a game with the universe, which also helps the show to reach new people, which I greatly appreciate. And as a quick reminder, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them every day. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I can't stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so, and I'm sincerely excited to share it with all of you. Lastly, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
Yo, all right. Zen Soul, yeah. I'm on the beat, Yo, you hear him talking shit, don't make it about you. From promise to possibilities, never doubt truth. Stay accountable and know who you are. Believe in yourself, you will go far. Said I weather the storm like X-Man and Rogue, taking powers they control to expand the globe. Lo and behold, the myth from the tales of old. Dark Sith, Lord 666, Pale of Gold, Aquarian beast. I'm dealing with the Aryan fleet. Bury elites, take some acid and get married in Greece. Life is a trip, the lids get flipped and powdered wigs get split like settings. From graveyards to weddings and weddings to graveyards. Samurai Jack Black still in the same car. Strap back, backpack, jet into trade cars. Abstract, NASDAQ, fly as a quasar. That's off of the radar, I aim hard like white Americans with ARs. Movies in black and white, but all you see is gray stars. Theaters from creators of race. Human relation, home invasion by the raiders who waste people's lifetimes and energy. That's lifetime's energy. You might find divinity, I and identity. Ride or die mentally, vibes arise, rendering me 9 to 5's useless, I'm hanging like Judas. Abusive to Mike's Mewtwo with the psych. Frank Lucas, audio dope, I make mucus on lucid hikes. A savant from the Levant, Saint Laurent, designer level poetry talk. And yo, you hear him talking shit, don't make it about you. Don't promise the possibilities, never doubt truth. Stay accountable and know who you are. Believe in yourself, you will go far. Yo, you hear him talking shit, don't make it about you. Don't promise the possibilities, never doubt truth. Stay accountable and know who you are. Believe in yourself, you will go far. Yo, I take on my problems like I'm solving a case. Everything's falling apart, nah, it's falling in place. These are the odds that I face, like Darth Maul when he faced 2 Jedis at the same time. That means it's game time. I hate crime, especially when it's hate crime. Too many take time to blame others for their mistakes, but when it's time to be real, they all got nothing to say. Far side said it best, you can't keep running away, especially when you are in the midst of coming of age. Every day when I write, I become on with the page. And times he all feel like hope when he's summoning rage, making changes like the moon when it's done with the face. There's nothing new under the sun except what inspires me. The piece that I admire is probably what will retire me. Never compromise with someone who cannot stop their lies. They keep doing what they sorry for, then they apologize. You'll never doubt your worth like knowing what $1 buys. In my solitude is when I rap myself a lullaby. How he personifies himself is what they call him by. I disqualify myself for being overqualified. Yo, you hear him talking shit, don't make it about you. Just promise the possibilities, never doubt truth. Stay accountable and know who you are. Believe in yourself, you will go far.